and welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone who's always here and supporting. My name is Anna, and as usual, I have an amazing entrepreneur or coach that we are going to talk to today, and her name is Tiffanie Kellog. So without further ado, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Anna. It's a pleasure.
Do you mind introducing yourself and what you do and how you help people?
Yeah, my name is Tiffanie Kellog. Hi, y'all. My goal is to help entrepreneurs have more money, more time, and more fun because we don't want to just have a business that runs our lives. We want to have a life that we absolutely love and adore. And too many entrepreneurs get stuck working all the time. And I think we need to have some fun to go along with it.
How do you have fun?
What do you mean, how do I have fun?
Yeah, like I'm thinking about when I first started and being in, because you and I are in a program together, which is why I'm really excited to have you on today. It's like having like a friend as opposed to like a colleague, you know what I mean? And I think that's one of the most troublesome things that I had an issue with because I come from like lack mentality and survivalism, and that's how I got into hustle culture. So you saying like, "Oh, have fun," I'm like, "But why? How?"
Well,
Or
so
why?
I think that if we realize, and I get fun is one of my core values, so it's important in everything I do. Not everybody is as keen on fun, but I have to have it. It's like, if it's not fun and I'm not making money, why am I doing it? And so sometimes it's putting fun into place. So, like, here's my little baby Yoda hanging out. So he's a little bit of fun going on. Yeah, yeah, I got Grogu. I got some Grogus. They're hidden. I've got my Grogus over there. I've even got a Grogu rug. And just because we're having fun in my office, I also have a TARDIS, which, for those of you that know Doctor Who, that's the time machine from Doctor Who. So I've got fun in my office, some that only a little you can see. The rest is for me. I also think it's about how do we use fun for work. So a lot of times people talk about, let's go get a coffee or let's jump on a Zoom to do a meeting, which is fine. And if you happen to be in the same city, which we're not always, if we can get together and do this on the golf course or at the bar or at the park with the dogs, if you wanted to, like, it doesn't always have to be super serious in how we're doing it. I've got a group on WhatsApp, and we're currently doing, I mean, this isn't necessarily work related, but this is hitting goal related. We have a group that does a monthly challenge for physical. And so we're doing Coretober. So it's all core work to try and be better. And so
October.
yeah, Coretober, right? September was Sweattember. And so we just have some fun with it. And so it's like, okay, let's be better and let's be healthier, which I do include, my physical appearance, my well-being, my health is a huge part of my business as a professional speaker. If I can't talk or if I'm unhealthy, that's going to cause problems for my audience.
You know what I have noticed? I feel like for 10 years I was like super healthy. And then I said stop. I stopped running. I stopped eating healthier. I was like, give me the French fries. It's time for pizza time. It's time for like, I mean, even moving to Miami, like the pizza's better here than it is in California. And I just barely stopped having it because I was like, ugh. And Shiraz told me that, like, oh yeah, go and complain to other people that you're fat, and I see how that works out for you. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I think that I'm chunkier than what I have ever been. And I don't even care about that either. I can see a direct reflection to when I was super healthy. I was like, let's go. And it was really easy. And since I've been eating pizza and being unhealthy and not exercising regularly, I'm like grasping for fucking dear life.
Yeah, it's interesting because so for the past week, my life has been chaos. Today was my first day back at the gym. So I'm in Tampa, Florida, y'all. And Milton just came through. For those of you watching this in the future, that's the massive hurricane that came right after Helena in October of 2024. So lots of craziness happening here. And so today was the first day the gym was back open. And so I typically am at the gym. I'm not like a gym rat and let me go work out for 5 hours. However, I love hot yoga and hot Pilates. And so that's part of my daily routine that kicks it off, because I'll do like my meditation and my PQ reps, then I'll go to the gym, and then I'm like ready for a healthy breakfast. And okay, there was a hurricane and without power and blah blah blah, so there's other stuff going on, but it's taking me, I was like, today I'm like, oh, finally it feels good to sweat it out, to have that healthy breakfast. And I just feel better when I'm healthier, and my mind is like ready to go in a way that, and don't get me wrong, we had flatbread pizza last night for dinner, so it's not like we're good all the time.
Yeah,
but it's like, this feels better.
And here, that's what I was actually just thinking about before this, is that they were all like micro, I call it micro expressions, but it's the same thing for dieting, where it's not about the diet itself. It's a bunch of small little efforts that you place. So like, I never used to like all of my coffees when I did the switch. It used to be just regular coffee or like cream and sugar at most, but it was still delicious. I started getting into like using half and half and using heavy whipping cream and making my own whipped cream for my coffees and adding like little syrups. And like, that's where I'm at today. I don't have, it's rare for me to have regular coffee. I'm such a fat, and it's not about the like the aesthetic fat. It's like on the inside. It's it's gluttony. It's
Well,
gluttony.
like I am not the heaviest I've ever been. That was 2 years ago. But I'm certainly not the lightest. A couple, maybe half a decade, 5-10 years ago, I was down 20 pounds from here. However, I feel like this is the healthiest that I've ever been, just because of the working out. And I did not cut sugar completely, though I try to do a little bit less sugar, more natural food. And I just find that I feel better.
Yeah.
When I eat better, which go freaking figure. And then my mind works better.
I've been telling you, I used to be like you, like super energized and like, oh my God, what are we doing today? La da 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 da. And I see you in our training program and I'm like, how the fuck does this bitch have so much energy? It makes total sense, because I've been just like in gluttony. Oh God.
Yeah. Today I did the hot yoga and then I stayed for hot Pilates. And then I came home and walked the dogs for 2 miles. And I just am so full of energy in a way that I haven't been for the past week without going to yoga.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is such a weird thing. And this is an interesting thing. Sometimes it's like the easy little stuff makes the big difference. And I think we do this in our personal life and we do this in our business life. Brian Tracy, I think, was the one that wrote Eat That Frog. First thing, do that big thing. And I wonder how much better we'd be in our business, our health, or whatever, is if we got up first thing and tackled that would make the biggest and most difference for us.
One of the things that's made a big difference for me in being able to do that, because I could understand it logically and think about me doing the things that I needed to do, but actually doing them felt like there was a fucking rock on my chest that wouldn't let me get up. There's no other way. It's like analysis paralysis. And I think that what's been helping me is not thinking and just doing. So now when I wake up in the morning, I start thinking and I'm like, shut up, bitch. And I just like go. And then now it's becoming like a race against the clock, because I have like about 30 minutes before my mind starts thinking and I can't just push it away. So I do my morning routine during that time, so I can get, the faster that I get done with that and the more that I just start doing things, the less that I think. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just say that because I've had such a hard time doing what you just said, of like doing the big thing first. I'm like, how do you guys do that?
Well, for me, it's routine. I wake up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, and I have my alarm set for 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes I get up, oftentimes I get up before that, because I'm used to getting up at the 5. And so I just know now the gym does not have yet 6 a.m. yoga on Monday and Wednesday, and it's really killing me. I'm like, please bring us something hot at 6. Because I'm like, I just want to get up at 5, go do my stuff, and then be home by like 7:15 and ready to take on the day. And so it's just that routine. So I don't even have to think about it. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm up at 5. I'm at the gym at 5:30. So I can sit in the massage chair and meditate and do PQ reps in the massage chair. And then I go into the studio and work out and get all this energy infusion and get all that worry and anxiety out and start the day.
Yeah, I like the way that you're saying that. It's a lot more insightful than people saying like, oh, go work out and you'll feel better. Why will I feel better? Oh, because you're detoxing, and then you're going to feel better to do other things, and your energy is going to be up, and you're going to make the better decisions. You're going to be more on cue. Like, this is giving me anxiety.
So that's like the opposite of what we want to do.
No.
We want to make it like super easy, right? So like the monthly core challenge that I mentioned to you, I've gotten my yoga now. It's a Crunch Fitness, so there's various instructors, but Maggie, who's the one that I see frequently, she now does our monthly challenge in our WhatsApp group. So half the time she makes sure the exercise we need to do are done in class, and I don't even have to worry about it.
I love that. Let me ask you some questions that go into just your niche, because otherwise I'm seeing we could just keep on going and forever. Because I know that you're in similar. You help your clients make more money.
Yes. We're both in that marketing realm.
Yeah, but I like it because I think oftentimes I'm so used to us of like, how can we help each other? I keep on going to other people that are doing the same thing, and they're not having it. They're like, what do you want from me?
So collaboration, not competition.
Exactly. But we're looking for it. So let me ask you, what inspired you to dive into the world of networking and referral marketing? And how has it changed your own business journey?
So I didn't know that I wanted to be an entrepreneur growing up. I had no idea the path that I was going to be on. And in March of 2003, two things happened that changed and got me here. Now, I had finished school and gotten my marketing degree, had that first real job. But that month, my job came and said, hey, we're restructuring. Guess what's no longer part of the organization? You. Okay, they didn't actually say it that way, but they very nicely offered me a severance package or a demotion. The other thing that happened that month, my mom, who had been battling breast cancer for 17 months, was given a terminal diagnosis and maybe a couple weeks left to live. So I took the severance package because it gave me the opportunity to spend each and every day with my mom. And she hung on. She hung on, and we celebrated her 47th birthday, had a huge party with all the friends and stuff over. She went to sleep the next day after we had breakfast and never woke back up. And I was kind of left with, okay, I don't have my mom, my best friend's gone. I don't have a job. What am I going to do? And there was a friend of the family, Jackie, and she would come over at like 10 on Mondays or 3 on Thursdays when everybody else was coming over evenings and weekends, because she had her own business. And I'm like, ooh, I want to be a business owner. I want that freedom and that flexibility. So I picked up from North Carolina, moved to Florida, started a business. And what I found is just because you have a business doesn't mean you have any business. It doesn't mean you have any business to make a business. It's like, I'm here, come on. And I spent the next 2 years cold calling. I'm good at it and I detest doing it. No. Please, no cold calling.
We have a lot of similarities. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's like, that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, fuck, that hurt.
Yep, got that. Yep, been there, done that. So I got invited to my first networking event. Somebody cold called me out of the phone book and like, hey, we're looking for Promotional Products, which is the company I had before I started doing this. And would you want to come out? And I went into my first networking event, and it's like the skies parted, the sun was shining. Like there's a room full of people that can refer me. And I totally fell in love with what referrals could create. Now, no clue what I was doing. I was 26 at the time, no idea how to network, petrified to speak in public. And so like I was going to the library and taking classes, like how do I learn how to do this networking and referral thing? Because it sure as heck beats cold calling, like anything but cold calling. Serious.
It's like warm calling in person.
Yeah, just not my thing. And so trial and error and what works and what doesn't work. And I really just began to love what I was learning. And I started teaching people, here's networking and here's how to do it. And then a couple of years later, my husband and I were talking. I was spending about half my time speaking, half my time in the promotional products business. And he's like, which one do you like more? And I'm like, I love speaking and coaching and consulting and working with people to help them create that vision for their business and their life. And I think that was 2008. I went full time as speaking, coaching, all of that fun stuff, and been having a blast ever since. I guess we're going on 16 years now. This is full time for me. and I absolutely adore it.
This is good for me. I'm glad I had you on today.
Why is this good for you?
Because I got away from, I found computer life and I was so tired and exhausted in LA that I just never wanted to leave again. And that's been my problem, is that I could make huge waves, but I don't want to go do the work. And the way that you're making it sound makes me be excited about it instead of thinking like, ew, I don't want to do that, if that makes sense.
My new goal is anytime that I say ooh about something in my job, or I'm like, I don't really like doing this, I ask myself, why am I doing this? And who can I pay to do this for me instead? My goal is by 2026. So we're talking 14 months. Is that the only thing that I do in my business are things that I love to do? And that's probably going to be content creation, speaking, and coaching.
Yeah,
Everything else, all the marketing, all the email, all of that kind of finding people on my team to do that for me. So I just get to do the stuff that I love to do. And then it's not even like work, going back around to this idea of fun. Like when I go into the group, so we're both in a program that Shiraz offers. And when I go in there, I don't feel like it's work. It's like, let's just hang. And that's what I want all my days when I'm working to be like. That's my vision. 10 to 4, Monday through Thursday, only doing fun things.
I know. I don't ever talk about that like the groups that I'm a part of, that's the goal. It's not even, obviously it's about making money, but it's about making money and having that kind of schedule and enjoying life. And I'm constantly yelled at that I don't enjoy life. I have another one. Actually, there's a question from the chat.
All right.
From Uncle Guns. Can you speak on the fear to fail concepts that hinders most from starting initial or future businesses? Oh, that's a really good one.
That's a big one.
That's a fucking big monster.
So it's interesting. I just finished a book called Failing Forward. And so if you're, kind of struggling with failure being a bad thing, that is one that I recommend. I truly enjoyed it. And it really, for me, was a shift of, it's more of a science experiment of let's see what's worked versus yes or no. Is this good or bad? Because if we look at so many of the failures, that's what leads us to the success. We're never going to get it right on the first try. As kids, when we're younger, it's like, hey, take a step. And we probably fall down a bazillion times before we actually learn to walk. And then as an adult, it's like, like I'm learning to skate a couple of years ago, ice skating. And lesson number 1 is how to fall. Because if you know how to fall, then you're going to be in much better shape. And it takes energy and work. But part of it is, okay, how do I take advantage of the expertise and the brilliance? Instead of starting a business, let me just do it. How do you find the right people that have that knowledge to help you along the way? The teachers, the mentors. How do you create it? Sometimes people, when starting a business, it's like, let me go get $2 million in loans and start something massive. Well, could you start a small side hustle that you do with your 9 to 5 while you're still paying the bills? What is it you love to do? How do you begin to make money with it? And nowadays, I would probably be like, all right, let me tell AI what I love to do and see what kind of jobs it can give me back that, take 2 or 4 hours a day to get started. I think that apprentices and mentorships are something we don't do as much in the US, and that's sad.
Unless you're an immigrant. There's a lot of immigrants that are like, let's go.
Okay, so maybe I should say it's not the US, it's the Americans. They're like, I want to know it all and get it all. And
I'm in Miami, and like I understand. I'm like, they're just hungry. They're like, yo, apprentice, leadership, let's go.
Yeah, sometimes I think that we can't expect to what's the saying? Rome wasn't built in a day. We can't expect to have this massive thriving business without doing some of the work. Now, I'm also not a believer of you have to grind all the time. That's such an old mentality. And I was having a conversation with somebody talking about millennials, and they're like, millennials don't want to go to work. They're going to try and go on YouTube and make the money while they're sitting on the couch. What about the hard working at the grocery store or the restaurant? I'm like, look, if they're able to figure out how to make money on the couch, why are you jealous?
Yeah.
I mean, I get we need and that stuff, life, we need people to have these jobs, but sometimes it's like, how do I find what I love to do and get paid to do that and not all the rest?
Yeah. I think for mine it was just faith without works is dead. And I'm not religious, but like it's in manifestation, it's in everything. And I think that for a long time I believed that something should be mine, like the clients should have come to me and my expertise. They should have signed up with me. I should have gotten that job. I should have gotten that raise. And I think that that should is what killed a lot of my dreams. And remembering faith without works is dead. So unless I can have all the faith in the world, but unless I'm doing even like step and foot in front of the other, even if it's just that, you're going to get there. But if it's, yeah, mine was hindering. It's like, but I've already done all the work. I deserve it.
And I'm not saying that, we have to do all the hard work. Sometimes it's about identifying what it is that we need or we want, and not limiting it to, okay, the only way I can make this happen is A.
I think that's a huge thing, making a goal and a plan. Like, because there's a lot of people will just be like, okay, here's my business, here's what I'm doing, boom, and run with it. When you really need, here's what I'm doing, here's my business, here's the goal, here's the plan. It may not even look like what ends up happening, but as long as you have the goal and the plan, you're going to start moving and have a goal and a plan for after that goal and the plan. Because then you reach that and you're like, oh, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah, there's actual, I don't know the technical term, but there is, like, when you hit your goal, there's this crash. You don't have your next goal in place, you crash down. Yeah. And I've had that happen more. Yeah, I've had that happen several times. All the time. I'm like, crap, I forgot a goal. I'm getting better now. Used to, it take me weeks or months to figure it out. Now it takes me a day or two, and I'm like, oh crap. Because I need that vision of what we're working towards. And I think, kind of getting back to this question that Uncle Gunn shared is, when we have that vision, it gives us a place that we're aiming for. Now, we may not make it exactly where we were headed, but at least we're going in the right direction. And I mean, my gosh, everybody's life got upended in 2020. Well, I mean, maybe not everybody, but like 99.9% of the world's population got upended because of COVID. And so I don't think any of us had a vision of, we're going to go into lockdown and pandemic and the world's just going to be completely changed. Right now in the Tampa area, the impact of these two storms is massive. Like, we're okay, thankfully. But I've got friends and family that, the house is completely flooded. Everything's been thrown in the trash. I mean, it's just horrendous. Nobody had hurricane on their vision and, having to start. And so certainly life can hand us crazy stuff. Yeah. And at least we're working in the direction that we want to go. If we have to pivot, if we have to, take a detour, that's life.
I think that's really important that people don't know too. It's like life happens. I love the thing Shiraz says, and it's like, I say it all the time now, where it's like, life is always that's probably the biggest misconception. Life is always going to be some sort of a wave. There's always going to be ups and downs. That is the frequency of life. It's whether you choose to live it down here or live it up here. And ever since I saw it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. I have another question about your business.
Yeah.
So can you explain, you said actually that you kind of already touched on that. You often talk about the common mistakes of networking. Do you have any top networking mistakes that even seasoned professionals tend to make?
Yeah. So you want the 4.5 networking mistakes that even the experts tell you to make? That sounds like it would be a really good book, right? Anyway, so networking mistake number 1 is, don't give people business cards unless they ask for it. I mean, Anna, have you ever been at a networking event and you've been in-person spammed? Somebody just walks up to you and shoves a business card in your hand?
No.
Maybe they do it differently out in California before you moved to Miami.
I feel, honestly, when you asked me that question, I would be such a bitch. I would throw it on the floor. Like, that's rude.
Well, yeah, it is definitely a rude thing. But a lot of experts say when you meet people, pass out your cards. Yeah, there's a guy that he would just
That literal that they would just like pass them out without saying hello or anything.
Yeah, no. Like I remember there's this one, we were at a restaurant. This is how hard I remember it from like 20 years ago. And the guy was walking around. I don't have time to stay. I have to go. And he literally walked around and passed out a business card to everybody.
I wouldn't be rude in that situation, but like, it just seems like a lot of people have forgotten
common courtesy.
Common courtesy, you know.
Well, but all the experts say make sure everybody has one of your business cards.
It doesn't mean literally, retard.
So I say only give out your business card when you're asked for it.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes I'll play a game. It depends on my mood. It depends on the person. Like if somebody seems like they're just all smug and they walk up to me and like, here's a card. I'm like, thanks. What would you like me to do with this? The look on their face, like the first time I did it was total accident. I didn't actually intend to ask it. Somebody gave it to me and I was just like, what do you want me to do with this? It wasn't meant in a negative way. But now sometimes I'll do it and the look on people's face, they're like they don't know the answer. And I'm like, you just gave me your card. What do you want me to do with this? Like, what was the purpose and the intention other than somebody told you to do it and you're just following orders about something you know nothing about?
I love that. I don't even use business cards anymore. I like give out my QR code.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that though. Okay, now I'm prepared if someone tries to give me their business card and be like, what do you want me to do with it?
I could totally, like, there's a lot of people that when I say that, they look at me like I would never say that. And I could totally say
Shit.
If we're ever in person, I'm gonna be like, all right, how do we find somebody to in-person spam Anna so we can see how she responds?
God damn it. Anyways, next, right. What else is something not?
So that's our first mistake. The half mistake is because it's only a half mistake because only half the experts tell you to do it. It's not something that everybody tells you to do. And that is when you meet somebody, not only give them one business card, but give them multiple business cards, one for them and many for them to pass on. And I'm like, I just met you. I don't know you. You want me to refer you? No.
I think I did that in my early 20s.
So here's the thing, Anna. When I do this presentation, I usually have like a big sign, one of my slides, as a disclaimer, like I've done these. Most people have done these. These are what the experts tell you to do. And I mean, the name of the book, 4.5 Networking Mistakes, certainly makes it seem like it's wrong. And I hate to tell people that they're wrong. There's just a more effective way to do it.
It was a learning experience. I was fucking I was like, my little puny, like undeveloped brain is like,
yeah, no, but this is what the experts that write the book tell you to do. I mean, they tell you to do this.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our first mistake that has to deal with cards. The second mistake that we have is I recommend that you always wear a name tag. However, what goes on the name tag is what I have issue with because most people have their company or their profession. Mm-hmm. And what happens when people see that you're a realtor, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, whatever it is, they're going to go into their brain and think, what do I know about this profession? And based on everybody that they know that does what you do, all the stereotypes, they're going to make a decision about you based on your profession. And so I want to have a curiosity name tag, something that has people asking, well, what is that all about? And so sometimes I use abbreviations. So I have one name tag that says R4L. When people say, what's that all about? Well, I help people create referrals for life. I have one name tag that has a picture of money, a clock, and a dancing couple. And when people say, what's that all about? Well, I help people have more money, more time, more fun. So I'm telling people what I'm creating for my clients, not necessarily my profession.
I love that because you want to sell them what they want, not what they need.
Right. And how many people need you, Anna, desperately, but they don't know that they need you and they think they're okay without you.
Everyone, duh.
Right. And so if we leave with here's our profession, then they make the decision. So we want a name tag that creates curiosity.
Yeah, but I really like that these are cute little ways that they're going to remember you. And I'm really big on people remembering you, especially at a networking event. Like everyone always, you're right. Everyone says, I do this. I'm a real estate. I'm a blah, blah, blah. and they put their whole personality based on what they do rather than this is how I help my clients. This is what they feel, which is, I would remember that money and happy and dancing.
Yeah. And when you tie the fact together that A, I've got the funky name tag on, and B, from a marketing perspective. So when I'm out and about and networking, I am wearing my dress as like normal business professional. And then I have on socks that are fun and funky with my Converse.
What is up with the socks?
So it's a branding thing. It started several years ago with I would just wear fun and funky socks. And then
Can you explain the sock thing for everyone that doesn't know?
Yeah, so it originally started many years ago. I would wear fun and funky holiday socks. And my sister one Christmas was making fun of me because I had these knee-high Santa socks on when I was passing out the Christmas presents. So for the next year for Christmas, she's like, I went online and got you, I searched ugly socks. Y'all, they are super cute little unicorn socks. I love them. They're not ugly. And so I started like wearing more. And my husband was like, hey, Tiffanie, why don't you do a 25 socks of Christmas and, share them? So I did that for Christmas. And then the next year, my husband was like, it was so much fun. Everybody was talking about it. What if you wore each pair of socks in your collection and see how long it takes you to wear them all? So in October of 2017, I started and I put them on social. So I'm like, sock pair number 1, sock pair number 2. And so every day or two, I would say, here's my next pair of socks. I could wear them once and only once. My hope was, because I had a bunch of Christmas socks, that I could make it through the holiday season. In March of 2019, so 18 months later, I finally wore my last pair of socks. It was like 311 or something. It took me a year and a half to wear all of the socks that I had. Now, I did get a ton of people buying me socks. I bought myself socks, So my collection grew and grew. I'm over 400 last night now.
Socks.
Yeah. So, and they're all fun and funky, different colors, different things. Like when I go do speaking engagements, like I'm going to Dallas for their chamber next week. So I'm like, oh, I need to get some Dallas kind of themed socks. I've just booked a gig up in Michigan. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to get for my socks? So it's either topic based or the location based if I'm speaking there. But yeah, so when you're at a networking event, I am the easy one to find because I am probably the only woman walking around in crew or knee-high socks and Converse, and the rest professional. I have people that are like, I don't see them. They're behind me like, oh, there's Tiffanie. Because like they see me because the socks are there. And so it's just a massively memorable thing that's fun. And my body and my chiropractor, my massage therapist definitely think Converse are much better to speak for 8 hours in than I've got some killer heels. I love my heels. Higher, narrower, the better, but the Converse definitely are more comfy. And that's another way I bring fun into my day.
I think my brain, it complicates things in having fun. So the only way I've been able to like correlate fun into things is understanding that God, even with like my monotone voice, I'm like no like but it's just how my brain works. It's kind of fucked up. So like everyone kept saying have fun to do things, and I'm like, the only way that I figured it out was asking my mom. She loves doing things like cleaning and doing laundry, and I'm like, fucking how? I hate it. And I'm like, what do you do when you're doing it? And she's like, I talk to it, and I'm like, I love it, and I smell it, and it smells so good. And then I'm gonna have clean clothes, and I get excited, and then I talk to it, and I fold it, and Mexican, right? And like, but what I picked up on was that she makes it enjoyable. She romanticizes it, and she essentially creates dopamine so that the experience is fun. So like the way that my brain computes that is like, okay, I started getting my nails done again and like putting jewelry on and everything so that when I'm working, I'm like dopamine and it makes me happy, and me happy equals fun, right? Okay, so I'm having fun, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, it sounds like a lot of what you're doing is like being present, the smell, the tactile, the feel. I think we're really reliant on electronics to fill most of our senses. And when we're able to stop and literally smell the fresh laundry or feel that different, or even having the nails a different color, it's like, okay, yeah.
That's how you can trick yourself into falling in love with it and being happy with it and like loving it. I don't know.
I'm still not there on the dishwasher. That is like the bane of my existence. I'll do laundry all day, no problem.
I didn't grow up with a dishwasher, so
you love it.
I didn't get a dishwasher until I was like almost 30.
So you're like,
I'm like, la, I love you. And then like sometimes if it's not clean, I'll run it through the dishwasher again. And I'm like,
my new thing is, because we
just
got a new dishwasher, and we got one with the 3rd level for the silverware. So my dogs, I have 2 dogs. They're Guinness and Harper. My husband are into beer, and there are little rescues that networking brought to me. That could be a story for another day or later. And we
have you on again.
We have the free feed, like the bowls that they can't just eat it all because they'll gobble it in 40 seconds. So we like put it in there and we freeze them. And so half my dishwasher, especially when my husband's out of town, tends to be those. And so you have to kind of flip them and let them dry. So I like unload most of the bottom, flip those over, unload the silverware on the top, and then I leave the dishwasher be. And then I come back and unload the top shelf and pull out the dog bowls. And my husband's like, why not do it all at once? And I'm like, because if I had to do it all at once, I'm not going to do it all at once. I will do it in 2 segments. And if that's working, like, why do we have to unload the dishwasher all at once? Like, I get if it was like I unloaded most of it, but not all of it, and it looked like it was, could you tell if it was loaded or not? But I'm like, this is easy because you can tell. Are the dog bowls laid out to dry on the bottom? Then it still needs to be done. But I don't like it, but doing it twice was enough to make a difference, and now I do the kitchen more.
Yeah, there's actually like a thing that I found with my little sister who's 14, and my story that I kept telling myself most of my life was go big or go home. So either I did things exceptionally like incredible, or it was like I didn't even try. And so she told me, she's like, go big or try at least something. And I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be clever, but it's just like so direct and real. I was like, ew, I hate you. But then and now it's like, oh, we started making moves. So I get the whole dishwasher halvesies thing, 100%. I had another question for you. Then we're getting close to the top of the hour. What the fudge cracker? Let me go back. Sorry. What advice would you give someone who's just starting to build their referral network, and what are there foundational steps that they should follow?
Yeah. So, Cliff Notes version or Twitter version, super quick. I'm going to give you the 5 steps to referral success. And I've got a freebie that kind of goes over it that maybe we can talk about. It's just in a little book. But so number one thing you need to do, and Anna, I know will appreciate this, is you need to figure out who that ideal client is. Who's your target market? What's your niche? This is, I think, for all businesses, one that a lot of them struggle with. And I think that you can survive as a business owner or an entrepreneur without a target market, but you will rarely thrive. Because anything marketing that you do, it's like, do I need business cards? Well, is your market millennials? Then no. Is your market seniors 55 plus? Then yes. And, there's things that make a difference. So the first thing you want to do, number one, is figure out who's the ideal client.
Right.
Number 2 is figure out who else is selling to your ideal client. We like to call these your referral champions. Some people call them contact sphere, circle of influence, sphere of influence. These are non-competing industries with the exact same target market. And the beautiful thing is when you find the right ones, you just need 4, 6, or 8 of them for most of your businesses. That will be plenty to get you enough of the referrals.
Can you explain that as if I was 2?
So if we look at who's your ideal client. So Anna, who's your ideal client?
Male entrepreneurs that are looking to make more than $100,000 per year.
Okay. What kind of professions are they typically in?
Usually in banking or entrepreneurship of some kind.
Okay. What do they like to do for fun?
make money and do terrible things.
All right, so they're really money focused. Do they have hobbies outside of the job? Do they have families?
No, not really. They usually
do they want to have families?
They do. They're usually like, there's like an inner voice in the back of their head that's watching all of their peers like get married and have kids and stuff, and they're like, they already have a level of success, but they're like, okay, how can I get that, and I can't even afford that.
So here's an interesting one that I might pick for you, Anna, is I would look for who is a matchmaker that specializes with entrepreneurs. Because they need to get their business right and they need to get their love life right all at the same time.
That's why I was thinking of that lady. Oh my God. Because you know, they don't have like the woo and like sort of oracle stuff, right, going on. And so like, I have a thought and I don't take, and that's why you and I talked about taking action on thoughts. I had that thought of a lady that reached out to me on LinkedIn like a year ago, trying to matchmake me with people. But we vibed so hard. We were on the phone for like 2 hours, just like talking. And I never talked to her again. And I was thinking literally, I'm like, oh, I want to have a husband and kids now. I should talk to her. But think about it that way, is that she already has people that are literally having that same issue in combination. I love you. Keep going.
Yeah. And I would think about, are these gentlemen that have a tendency to wear custom clothing, or are they on that cusp? I know there's a company here in the Tampa market, and they're not like completely custom, fully custom clothing, but they are not off the rack. It's kind of an in-between kind of thing. And they do really well with this
without that tag.
Right. Yeah. It's like, here are the colors, and then we just figure out like how big do we need to make the sleeve. Like one of the gentlemen in my network, who is a power lifter, massive up top, short guy though. He can bench press 600 pounds, but he's, got the massive thighs and all of that, but clothes don't fit him. And so maybe a company that is, because, if you had said I'm looking for the ones that are pulling in $1 million, I would say, where are the custom clothers?
Right.
But who are the people that are doing that kind of semi-custom clothing for these professionals? Who's doing the concierge service focused for the men? Like I know here in Tampa, a very high-end concierge service, though they're mainly working with the wives. So I'm trying to find who's the assistant, who's the company that's working with those single entrepreneurs.
Well, they could be married too, but it's like the way that you're hitting it is just so perfect.
And what I love about this whole conversation is it's not, and you know this, when you have that ideal client, it's not that you can't take others of those clients. Mm-hmm. It's just, here's where I'm actively looking. Everybody else can come in and I'm happy to work with them if that works in your business. Mm-hmm. But where do I spend my time, energy, and effort? People often think about, I'm spending my time when I'm networking. It's not my money. It's not the same, which I think is actually, it needs to be the opposite. Because to me, your time, you got 168 hours this week. How much of that do you want to spend using ineffectively, inefficiently? Just no, I want to be super focused. And so when we're marketing with our time, I think it's even more important for us to have that focus of which is the right networking event for me to go to. How do I pick the one where the people that I'm looking for are at to develop those right relationships?
It's incredible. Yeah, no, I 1,000% agree with you. That's why I'm anal about the avatar of a male and a female client, because it's not just the branding, it's how you do everything. And like you said, but I haven't been doing networking and I haven't even applied it there. That's why you have my little noggin thinking like, oh yeah, duh. And it's the worst too, because I have another attorney that was telling me like I should go hit up divorce attorneys. And it's like, you're kind of a genius. But no, it's really important, like you said, to understand if you start a business or you're an entrepreneur or anything and you're looking for your ideal clients, you go to where they frequent. Like,
yes.
Does this mean I get to go
oh, you're going to love this, Anna. You're going to love this. Or you create the event for them. So when I stopped running my promotional products company, my husband took over. And he ran it for many years. And we did an exercise. It's an exercise I like to do with clients. if you have clients that you want more of. Like if you're like, I've got these $5 per hour clients and I need 500, but you don't have any of those yet, don't do this exercise. If you have clients that you love, that pay you well, that you love working with, make a list of your top 10, 15, 20 clients and see what they have in common. When my husband and I did this for the promotional products company, 9 of the 10 that he wrote down, he's like, these are all my beer drinking buddies. Yep. So we created a monthly event called Brewing Up Business that went to a different brewery every month that we got to try out. And we hosted a networking event at a brewery written off to have fun and get new clients in the door. So not only going to the bar, but creating the events.
What'd you call it?
Taken care of.
What did you call it?
So we called it Brewing without a G because I'm Southern. So Brewing Up Business.
I'm copying you.
Business. Yeah.
I love
that. That was our podcast. That was our event.
Oh my God, I needed a title.
No, you can't have that one. I already have Brewing Up Business as my podcast. It's out there. I mean, I'm not very active with it, but yeah, we have every Tuesday. Sorry, the second Tuesday of every month from 2:35 to 3:55 because I want to give people a little bit of time before and after so they don't feel rushed. We do a Brewing Up Business networking event online.
Wait, that's online?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, when is it?
So it's the second Tuesday of every month from 2:35 to 3:55 p.m.
Let me put it
right in the middle of Shiraz's Get Stuff Done.
Perfect. You get me out of it. So
if you go to moreabundantentrepreneurs.com, that's my website, moreabundantentrepreneurs.com /thing events. And that actually we have events every Tuesday that are free to the public. The first, second, and third Tuesday of the month. There is a charge for the one on the 4th. And the 5th, if there is one, is for members only. But yeah, every second Tuesday of the month, we have our Brewing Up Business.
Okay, so Brewing Up Business alert, calendar every month because it's
the second Tuesday of every month.
Tuesday of every month.
Yep.
Let's put second Tuesday because I'll forget.
And I can sign you up and then it'll send you calendar reminders if you would want.
I would definitely want it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so that's, how do we find fun? How do we find, this is something, so my husband and I, we really like beer. Typically when we're picking where are we going on vacations, there has to be decent beer there, unless there's another reason that we're going.
I freaking love you and your husband.
Yeah, it was where do we want to go? So we just got back from Denver. And we kind of made it fun. We went and saw
Denver had good beer.
Yeah, we went to Asheville several years ago. Why? Because Asheville has amazing breweries. And yeah, so we picked travel based on we need to go. Belgium, I really want somebody to hire me to speak in Belgium because they're known for their Belgian quads and triples, the monks making the beer. And I just want to go there and be paid. So here's where I'm trying to manifest. I want someone to hire me to speak in Belgium in English. That's what I know. Fly me over there. And then I'm going to hang out and have the chocolate and the beer once I'm done.
I'm so done. I'm so excited for you. It's going to happen.
It will happen. I am working on it. I just share it with the universe. And when it's right, it'll be right.
Wow. That is fantastic. Let me ask you one more. Yeah, we're just gonna end it with this one. So what's the one key takeaway that you hope listeners gain from this interview and from what you do in terms of leveraging referrals or boosting their business success?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna kind of come at this from two directions, but I think it should tie together well. I think oftentimes it can be easy to be overwhelmed with here's the bazillion things to do. Let me go network, meet a ton of people. Let me always be always on the go. To me, when it comes to growing your business by referral, if you can find just 4, 6, or 8 of those people, so it's not I need hundreds or thousands, it's who are the 4, 6, or 8 people, non-competing industry with the same target market. how do I develop those relationships with them?
What do you mean by non-competing industry?
So if I think of like a realtor and a mortgage broker, a plumber and an electrician, like sometimes when it comes to money, you can have financial advisors and people that do life insurance, but sometimes they do both. So that's when it becomes more of the competition. So you're looking to partner with people that don't do what you do, but you both have that same ideal client.
I see. Got it.
Yeah, because what we want is, and so sometimes I'll even ask people that I feel are my ideal client, who is mailing you? Who is emailing you? What are you following? Where are you spending your money, to see where it is that they're going? So can I go make relationships? Because everybody's like, hey, hook me up with your banker, hook me up with your CPA. But there's so many other really amazing referral sources out there.
Understood. So you're looking to leverage people that work with that same ideal client as leads. I've just never heard it in those terms. I really like that. That's really brilliant. So wow. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. No, it's just finding those. Now, I'm not saying that this is easy. It's simple, but not necessarily easy. But find those 4, 6, or 8 people, develop those strong relationships, and you're going to have that flow coming into your business when you do it right. And so I think sometimes we look for complicated, we look for massive, we look for hard work. I am very much, all work and no play makes Tiffany a dull girl. I'm a huge Stephen King fan too. We just went to Denver. I stayed at the hotel that inspired The Shining, rode up that same elevator, had a blast because it's fun, right? I was really surprised my husband went because he doesn't usually like scary stuff. But so yeah, all work and no play is not how I want to live my life. I want to be able to enjoy every day.
Classroom, and this is what crazy white people do. They look for horror situations.
My husband oftentimes he's like, yep, that's totally, because for those of you watching this, like, what, my husband's Black. So sometimes he's like, okay.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. He's like, would you do that? And he's like, no, that's crazy white people doing that.
I channeled that so quickly.
Yeah. He's 6'7" Black guy. He doesn't like I have, because Halloween's coming up. So
I'm sorry, did you just gloss over that 6'7"?
Yeah, he's 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan. Big guy.
Are you my height?
I'm 5'4".
Yeah, like 5'1".
Yeah, he's 15 inches taller than me.
Don't mess with this bitch. I'm like, you go, girl. You say whatever you want.
He's the nice one. But I always joke when we're networking in a crowd, I'm like, if him and I are going, I'm like, look for the big, tall Black guy. I will probably be, and I shouldn't say big. I mean, he's a skinny guy. I'm like, look for the big, tall Black guy, and I will probably be nearby, because you're never going to find 5'4" little white me unless you see the socks. But you can find just about anywhere.
I love that. Oh, you got a big giant protecting you. So you guys go and you do these just to reiterate, he's also involved in the business. That's one of the questions I actually personally have.
So we worked together in the promotional products business. And then he took over running it, and I helped out a little bit over the years. When we sold that, he semi-retired, and that didn't last very long because he's bored. And we didn't need him to be, but it was just like, take your time. And so now he's actually a traveling salesperson for JVC. So he reps high-end projectors, and he loves it because he just goes out and talks to people all the time. It's funny. I teach people how to network. He's one of the few natural networkers that are amazing.
And they're out there.
They're few and far between, but I've met a few of them. Yeah.
Wow. Well, can you let us know again who you are, what you do, how you help your clients, and where people can find you? And your links are down below in the description.
Gotcha. And hopefully down below in the description, we do also have moreabundantentrepreneurs.com/freebie. That one does have the 5 steps. So we covered 2 of the 5. So if you need the other 3, that's there. My name is Tiffanie Kellog. One of the joys of being at this level of social media is I've pretty much scooped up at Tiffanie Kellog. So Tiffanie Kellog, Kellog. I didn't necessarily love the IE growing up because I could never find things with my name on it spelled right. However, I'm so glad because I'm like the only one that you can find spelled like that with my last name. So I'm like, yay, mommy and daddy. And now it's super easy to get personalized stuff. I wonder if there's anything to be said about the fact that I went into promotional products and personalization with the name thing, but that's a different conversation. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, actively, those two. I do have Insta that I go to occasionally. My husband's love language is sending reels. So I do get on there occasionally. And TiffanieKellog.com, moreabundantentrepreneurs.com. You can find me there. Again, I spend most of my time hanging out on Facebook. And I think that's me. I think that's what you needed.
Yeah. And we have one last comment from Uncle Guns. You'll never leave the beer and the food. I also enjoy quads. Barely beer anymore. Stay strong beer or stay home.
Yeah, and those Belgian quads, those are the strong ones.
Well, thank you so much again for coming today. And yes, her links are all below. And whatever stream or platform you are viewing this from, I thank you for being here. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. I am going to be bringing more practical, helpful ways that people and entrepreneurs can help their lives.